Incarceration itself is tough. You have a lot of time in there to just think, reflect on things. You get called one day into whosoever, they want to talk to you, and whoever calls you in and tells you about what happened about a kidnapping. Take us through that moment. What really happened?
Well, I was just getting off work in the lower level, and I laid up in my bunk, and I had got a call over the intercom. They called my name, and I was half asleep, so I was wondering why they was calling me. I thought maybe I had to go back to work or something. So I jumped down out my bunk. I started walking towards the front room door, and I noticed there was a bunch of officers out there. And I was wondering what was going on. So the door slid open. And I seen like 5 or 6 police officers out there, and I was, and they asked me, the lieutenant asked me, was I Craig Aiken? I said yes. And he asked me, could I come with them? So as I stepped out into the hallway, all of them surrounded me and started walking me down the hallway. And we got down to a door, and they were saying this was the sergeant office or something. But when they opened the door, I noticed it wasn't the sergeant's office. It was an office with a desk in there with about 10 more officers in it. So the female officer was sitting at the desk, and she asked me, could I come over there? So I came over there. She asked me, would I sit down? I told her yes. I mean, well, I sat down. And then she was like, are you Craig Aikens? I said, yes, I am. She said, I have good news and I have bad news. I said, what's the good news? Because I'm already in jail, what can be worse than this, So she said, your daughter Kamiyah was born, 7 pounds, 8 ounces. No, she said your daughter was born, 7 pounds, 8 ounces. She said her name was Kamiyah. And I was happy. And, I started getting excited and then I thought for a second, as I'm excited, wasn't nobody else excited. And I'm looking around and everybody wasn't happy, So I remember she said, we have bad news. So I asked her what the bad news was. She said, your daughter was kidnapped. And I was like, kidnapped? She said, yes, your daughter had been kidnapped. At that time, I didn't understand what she meant by kidnapping because, far as I knew about kidnapping, it only happened on TVs and movies. Not to a person like me, I wouldn't have never suspect that. But she kept calling my name after that as I was processing it. Last thing I remember at that time, she was like, Craig, are you okay? And I remember telling her no.
Craig, that's a lot. A lot to find out all at once while you're incarcerated. Do you remember what happened when you went back to your cell that day?
Going back to my cell, I remember being back at my bunk, just sitting on the edge of the bunk, just thinking. I'm trying to process what kidnap means. Because they also told me they haven't found her yet, They told me that, I do know they told me that before I left the room. But 3 days later I cried, because they didn't find her. They had also told me they haven't found her yet.